Hello everyone and welcome to a new podcast, Guys on Gaffr. Really excited to get started with this. We are four fantasy football addicts and we're here to do weekly episodes on both the Gaffr games, Gaffr Championship and Gaffr Super League. So I think before we get into Gaffr, I think it'd be a great idea to introduce ourselves. So I am FF Joel on Twitter, and I play whole range of fantasy games like FPL, Sky, Gaffr, Elite Serie N, many things, and I think I've become a bit of an addict the last couple of years, having just played FPL for quite a while. I've got three of the guys with me, so why don't you just say who you are, what games you play, maybe what your favourite fantasy game is. That might be quite a good way to introduce things. So I don't know, let's start with you, Abhishek.
Hi guys, welcome to the podcast we the four addicts have created. It's basically the brainchild of Joel, so hats off to you, and welcome to our podcast. So my name is Abhishek. You will be knowing me as going around in Twitter as FPL_buddy or FPL buddy, the violet color icon, if you may. And I am a bit of a like Joel said, we all are fantasy addicts, but I am a bit of a fantasy buff. Second job for me, apart from my real job. So, that's what I play. Every type of game, be it in England, be it in Norway, be it in Scotland. I play all kinds of games. I also play in the India. I am from India, so the football games that are played in India, I also play the fantasy games of that. So if you want to play any kind of game, just holler at me. I can hook you up with any kind of game. If you don't want, if you have any problem with that. So yeah, that's a bit of, you will come to know more about me as the podcast progresses. So let's move on and let's go to David.
Yeah, my name is David, and I'm probably known in the community as David Strom, even though my after-name is Strøm. That's fine. And my handle is Massive, but I'm going to change it. It's DSTRM97. So complicated. Anyway, I play lots of games too, way too many, and I think my favorite games must be like obviously Gaffr, and I play ESN.
You don't have to say Gaffr just because it's a Gaffr podcast, David.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But I generally like it though. ESN, and I play some other games, some semi seriously, but surprisingly, one of my favorite games is actually MLS Fantasy. It's crazy fun.
Nice.
Yeah, also you are the meme lord of Twitter. Don't shy about saying that. You are the meme lord.
This is true.
Yeah, I'll take it. My third language is GIFs. For sure.
That is so true. Spencer.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I'm Spencer, but you may know me as FPL Beery. So, yeah, I've probably been playing FPL for about 3 or 4 years now. And then when I joined the Twitter community, kind of just branched off from there. Started off with probably Champman, and I kind of got to know more about like other different games. And then Gaffr, obviously, as well. And I've kind of enjoyed, probably Gaffer's probably my favourite game, obviously. Not doing too great this year at FPL, so I'll just, anything but FPL basically to take my mind off how badly I'm doing. But yeah, I try and do as well as I can. Try to keep an eye on them. Obviously, all the deadlines and stuff can get a bit muddled, but yeah.
That is the joy of playing multiple games, isn't it? If you have a terrible week in one, at least there's other games you can do.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. Just think about how you got like quite a good score in a ESN or something, even though I hadn't touched my team in about 3 weeks. Obviously, doing something right.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, that's us guys, and the plan for the pod is we're going to cover both games. So this is the first championship pod. The kind of vision for the championship podcast is we're not going to go game by game purely because a lot of people either do that well, particularly the EFL fantasy podcast, they do that really well. So we're just going to be picking out a couple of talking points each week and having a chat about those, whatever's topical. It could be diving into some stats. It could be particular teams that we'd be focusing on, or boost strategy. It could be anything really, and we'll also be going through our own teams and our own plans. So that's the plan for this pod. And then for the Super League pods, this will be released. We're recording on Tuesday. This will be released on the Wednesday. But we're going to record it straight after this, and we will be going in a bit more depth in that pod. There are no Super League podcasts out there at the moment, so we are going to go into a bit more depth in that, look at all the games and see how that affects our teams. So that's the plan for the podcast, and do give the Guys on Gaffr account a follow on Twitter if you can. Should we dive into how we've been getting on in our season so far? So, there is an order for my image slideshow. So for those of you who are listening on Spotify or whatever, we are on YouTube as well, and there are things on the screen, but hopefully it won't have any impact on your kind of listening experience. So the first team I have, I'm not actually sure whose it is. An away days was played, and it's someone who took a -8.
It might be me.
That
sounds like it sounds like it's me.
So how's your Gaffer season started so far, Spencer, then?
Not badly. I'm at about 180 so overall rank. I played 2 boosts so far. Played away days, and I played the other one, the home advantage one.
That's in Super League, isn't it?
Yeah, but what's the other one then? Part of the bus. That's it. Yeah. Part of the bus. Yeah, so I played part of the bus, and that was when I had Aidan Flint when he scored that brace.
Oh, nice.
And I was
nice.
Yeah.
Legend.
Have Aidan Flint have my babies. That's what I say. But yeah, I'm not doing too badly. I feel like my score this week went great, especially after playing away days. I know they mentioned on the EFL Fantasy podcast that you kind of aim for about 120 points, so 60 doubled. I think I got to about 80. What was it again? 80.
84 -8.
84. Yeah, so pretty poor for a chip, but I took a few risks. I went Ethan Laird, Jeremy Bella, who actually I think he might have got an assist or scored, and I went for Jaden Anthony from Bournemouth as well, and he was bit of a I was and an in between. So I was in Reading Festival and I was in the queue. I had no connection, and I managed to get it 5 minutes before the deadline. I was thinking, do I risk it and go with a Bristol City striker, knowing that we're early kickoff? Everyone's going to be thinking easy win for Cardiff, and we'll snatch a win or something. I was thinking Andreas Flayman. I was thinking Chris Martin, and I bottled both of them and went for Anthony instead. So at least Bristol City won for me. But bit annoying with not getting the points.
It's almost unbelievable that you would do that. It's almost convenient that you happen to be, woulda, shoulda, couldas. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not getting the points, so yeah, it's not happening. I'll get on to the boys at Gaffr and see if they can sort me out.
Nice. Right, who's next? We have a Park the Bus. Which one do you play? Park the Bus.
Park the Bus. Oh, it's mine. It's mine. I have played Park the Bus. Yes. Yeah. So I have not a good start, more to say, but I am ranked at 697th, I guess, with 335 points. So I am lagging behind in terms of the guys on Gaffr league, if you may say. In the Park the Bus, I have 7 points it returned me with. I have Dieng in goal, so that was a big one, and I have Townsend and Britain. So with Park the Bus, you get double the points of your defenders. So Townsend have me a good chunk of points, and Britain also. I think Britain got a lucky break because he conceded in the first half, right? Yeah, he is showing here second half clean sheet. Yeah, so Townsend got me, Britain got me 14, Townsend got me 18. The legend Scott Malone, he is not performing to his heights of last season, but he ticks along the box with 6 points, but he had received a yellow card, so that's -1. And the round of my defenders were Ethan Laird. I also brought him for the same reason, because I thought Swansea is playing Derby, but the way Swansea started this season, I'm not very hopeful. One of the main highlights is Laird, because I have high hopes of him because he's from United. So let's hope he performs well. And I have Dabo, the Coventry City defender. And apart from that, my captain was Mitrovic. He bagged a goal, so that's 6 points I received, which doubled. No,
You don't get
captain's
captains as
points.
part of the bus, do you? I think so.
Yeah, yeah. So he got a goal and an assist. So yeah, 12 points and a performance boost to boot. And yeah, to round off my rest of the team, I got Brayton Diaz of Blackburn. He scored 2 points. John Swift also 2 points. Willock, he's our Lord Lundstrom, if you may say, for Gaffer this season. So yeah, Willock ticks along the box, and I have Mark Ondes of Bournemouth, which I need to change now because he, ever since I brought him, probably in game week 3, he hasn't scored any goals, and just going along with performance bonus, it doesn't help me. So that was my starting 11, and the good news was that I was able to hold Robinson, who got COVID. We came to know about Carl Robinson of West Brom. He got COVID, but I got to hold him. So let's hope he gets fit. Probably I saw on the Irish Twitter account that he is fit and probably was in the bench for their game. So let's hope he gets to full fitness, and we'll more talk about what my transfer plans are uh, when we discuss it that on that section. So
Nice.
yeah, that's my overall story at the moment.
Very good. Yeah, I think Robinson will probably be back, which is good news for people who held him through, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, who's next? Oh, I think that's me. That is me. Great. Well, I was having quite a steady start first 4 game weeks, but then this happened, this disaster of an away days. It's a bit of an embarrassing one when you see people who haven't played a single boost outscoring your away days with 10 away players by 20 odd points. So I sold Mitrovic for Solanke, and thankfully Solanke did get some performance bonus, but still that's 7 points. And who else did I bring in? I brought in, it feels like such a long time ago now, I brought in Billing, who didn't even play, which was brilliant. So yeah, not a single attacking return. If West Brom had conceded, it would have been even worse. And it's quite funny because at the start of the season, the only reason Yeardom's in my team really was, well, Reading had some good fixtures and they played away in game week 5. I'd kind of been planning this since the start, trying to balance, planning for away days but not ruining my team and missing out on all the other assets, which is why I had the likes of Mitrovic in my team and Carvalho before that. But when Yeardom comes in with -1 multiplied by 2, that was a bit of a disaster when there's a lot of other 5 million defenders like a certain Aidan Flint ripping things up. So
literally you have a disaster class.
Yeah.
I really did. But the overall rank is 185. It's a steady start, and I think it's quite hard to assess the ranks at this early stage because boosts are even more meaningful.
Yeah.
When we get to the end of game week 15, I think our ranks will mean quite a lot more once everyone's played their 3 boosts. So I think my aim is I'd quite like to be top 100 by the end of game week 15. Just kick on from there. We'll see. But anyway, yeah, we are. It's been a great reminder doing this podcast so far of this amazing away days, but we will move on from that to.
If we ever get a soundboard, we have to play like the oof sound or something when something like this happens.
Yes, we could definitely do that at some point. Leave that to you, David, maybe. Right, David, you are last but not least. How are you getting on?
Yeah. I had like a very disastrous start. Or I don't know, actually. Probably medium. But after like game week 3, and it just turned around massively. I in game week 1 I was at 1,656 in rank, and this week I came up to 69th in rank. So some good wins.
You also have received the Flint Bonanza, I guess.
What was it?
Flint Bonanza. Lord Flint has rescued
Well, yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
such
yeah.
expensive.
He, I had him from gaming once, so he has been the
Oh.
MVP of my team for sure. So this week I played Jeepers Keepers. Went a bit against the grain when, at least in the community, when I felt like probably 80% of the players I knew played away days, and it worked out okay. I think I did a whole thing with like a movie poster with Moore and Ludley, and
Yeah.
I was a bit worried after the first half because none of my keepers had a one save. But thankfully, I think it's Liam Moore maybe for Coventry. He got 15 points in the end, so
Nice.
it was very nice. So I ended up on 91 points in this last week. So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad. Awesome.
And yeah, the some things have happened that I care about more than people. Most people just like the legend of the Norwegian Danish Messi, Mr. Philip Sinkernagel.
Yeah. Don't get me started on him.
I was thinking of bringing him in for my away days, and then I think it was when I heard Jamie on the other pod talking about how he just got really frustrated in the Stoke game, and I just realised, yeah, he's not. It's just Forest. It's not him. It's Forest. Just blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, last season also I started with Forest. They doesn't do anything. They have nice fixtures, but they doesn't do anything. So Zinc has chosen the wrong club. He should have gone to someplace else.
Should have come to Bristol City.
Could have just stayed at Watford, to be fair.
Could have supported Wyman a bit more.
Yeah.
I was a bit gutted for him that he didn't get to stay in the Premier League, but I get to own him in game either way, so it's okay.
Could have picked him in FPL for a consistent, I don't know if he would have started, but 2 points every week or something.
Yeah.
He was in my FPL thoughts, but since then I haven't been able to, because he would have been a nice addition because Sar and Dennis, they have it up top with Zinc there. They would have gotten some results, especially on the loss they had against Spurs. I guess they have good plays, but they were missing a number 10 basically. With the 4-4-2 formation they play with this basically, or 4-2-3-1, which where we look at it, but they are basically missing a number 10. So that's FPL. We are here for Gaffr.
My definite highlight of the season was when I captained Sinkernagel when he got like 11 points in game week 3,
nice.
And will look vice captain. So he's
very nice.
yeah, and I even watched that game. I never watched the championship, but I turned in for his goal, and that's like the only time I watched the championship.
Awesome, yes. Right, well, let's move on then. So we have got 2 topics for today, 2 quite quick topics, I think, just to start us off for our first episode. And the first is the best Fulham triple up. Obviously, Fulham have kind of proven to be fixture proof, especially in that Stoke game, and we should probably be looking to have 3 Fulham players on our teams. Their fixtures coming up are still really good. Blackpool away, Birmingham away, Reading at home, Bristol City away, Swansea at home are the next 5. And yeah, I think most people will probably have 2 at this point, I would have thought. And I guess the question we have to ask ourselves is, if we're going to triple up, probably the options are Mitrovic, Harry Wilson, Carvalho, and a defender. 1 or 2 of the defenders could be good options. So what do you guys think in terms of whether we should go triple attack, whether we should cover them with a defender, or even go double defense? Like, if you were to pick, let's just go around. If you were to pick 3 Fulham players, who would you pick and why? It's like the optimal 3.
I don't mind starting.
Go for it.
I think Mitrovic is a no-brainer. Obviously, most people are going to have him. So if you go without him, then you're already going differential as it is. So it doesn't matter who else you pick. Carvalho at 5.2. It's kind of again, makes sense. Most people will, well, for me personally, I have O'Dowda as my 5th midfielder with loads of money in the bank. So if I was going to make a move, it would be something like that. Just get rid of sort of dead wood and bring in someone who, even if all of a sudden they bring in someone in January, he's going to get the odd minutes here and there. But he's been on fire and he's on about 40 points or something. So I'd probably go again with a defender. I did have Tete, but I've got rid of him because he had a muscle injury, didn't he? Like a week before away days. So that was a bit of a gutter. But yeah, Anthony Robinson, 6 million, gets forward a lot. And I think he scored, did he score? It might have been in the cup, but I think he scored one of the goals and he was basically playing up front like the last 10 minutes. So I don't know what the plans are with him, but obviously he's a left wing back come winger, so he could easily pop up with an assist or a goal most games. So, and you've always, especially with Fulham, they are one of those teams they're so strong, especially in depth as well. Their team's a joke. They're going to fly back up and they're going to get those half clean sheets, both clean sheets as well. Like, so no brainer going with a defender as well if you're going to get one in.
The amount of midfielders they have, I mean, I can count 10 or 11 midfielders. They have already signed in the last deadline day, Kina and Chalobah also. So they have insane amount of depth in midfield. Not so much in forwards, because apart from Mitrovic, I don't think they have anyone.
They'd probably have to play like Ivan Cavallero or Decordova-Reid as like a false nine or something, wouldn't they? Did they do that at times in the Premier League last season?
Well, they had Madja, didn't they?
Yeah, so, but that was in January, wasn't it? What about before then? Because I'm just trying to remember.
Well, it didn't do much, to be fair.
Yeah.
They had Lukman, right? They have Lukman also from the start.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Good point, yeah.
That's right.
Lukman also this. So probably Lukman was coming from the wing. So he was registered as a midfielder or forward. I forgotten now. Probably Lukman was starting up front as... they have Ruben Loftus-Cheeks also in the FPL. So they are accustomed to that playing false nine position. They don't, because Mitrovic was not favored. Mitrovic was not favored at all by Scott Parker. So
yeah, of course.
It was ridiculous that he was not favored. He was scoring goals, but he was not favored.
Yeah. But if Mitrovic gets injured now, can we have like a Champman Gary Doherty situation with the defender going in the front?
Joe Bryan, get him up front.
That would be crazy. I'm gonna go on.
Yes, speak. So I was saying, Carvalho, or you can play Robinson there, because as Spence was saying, he was playing as a forward in the cup game, so he can play that. So he can be your Gary Doherty replacement if Gaffr guys are lenient towards us, and Marco Silva is also then he can play there if Mitrovic gets injured.
Yeah, it might be a bit, maybe might be a bit far fetched with that. Maybe
Yeah,
I don't think. I think worst comes to worst, they'll just sign someone, and it'll be another player that scored 30 goals a season because he got a load of money. So
yeah, parachute payments as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to offer a slightly different opinion to what Spencer said. I think my triple up would be Mitrovic, Wilson, and Carvalho. That's my plan. I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to bring both Wilson and Mitrovic, bring Mitrovic back in as well. The reason I say that is because, I guess it depends who you have already. For the third one, a lot of people probably have Mitrovic and Carvalho, or they see everyone's sold Tete, but you could have a defender, I guess. But a lot of people will have Mitrovic and Carvalho, and I would rather go to Wilson. One of the reasons why I think you could maybe go without a defender is because, basically, I think there are a lot of really good defenders at the 6 million bracket, 6.5 million bracket. I've got double West Brom defence and I'm happy with that. I've got Malone as well. I don't feel the need to bring in a Fulham defender. I think there are lots of really good options at that price in the premium defender bracket. And I think the difference with having Carvalho, I don't see him, being out of the team anytime soon. I think he probably won't be quite as explosive as he's been so far, but I think he'll tick along. It's that value. It helps with your squad depth. He's only 5.2 million. And I think that just really helps the squad. who else are you going to have at that price? You know, there are some okay options, but nobody anywhere near as good. And you know, Harry Wilson as well. For me, I would much rather bring in Harry Wilson than a Fulham defender, because I think he could go off in a lot of games.
Yeah, he did go off, and because into 3 games I think he played, right? In five championship games he played 3 games, and he scored in the first game,
Yeah,
got sent off in the second game.
when I
Then
captained him.
he returns back and scores a goal. So
Yeah.
basically, you have a good choice if you are going two midfielders and a option.
Yeah, I
But
said.
maybe,
Go on.
maybe because the defender, if anyone is looking at the game week 9 away days, because they have 6, 7, 8, so 4 games. In the next 4 games they have 3 aways. So if anyone wants to play the away days, then it makes sense to picking a defender rather than going to midfielders, or you can do it without defender if you play an away day.
One of the things I think I have realised now, and I only really realised this in hindsight after game week 5, is that if you're going to play away days on a week where Fulham play at home, you are taking a huge risk. If you're getting rid of their players because they can go off. Because I thought, oh well, Stoke's a tough fixture anyway. I don't need Mitrovic. I expect Solanke to do quite well, but obviously look what happened. So actually, that when I look at if you haven't played away days yet, game week 11 is a good one, because that is the 1 week where Fulham and West Brom play away. Albeit West Brom do have a tough fixture against Stoke. That might be a good time to do it. I guess it depends on what other assets you have, but I don't know. I think you'd be hiding behind the sofa for the Fulham, waiting to hear the Fulham result on away days if they were playing at home.
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good point as well. Yeah, so those are your 3, right? The Carvalho, Wilson, and Mitrovic.
I think I'll be tripling up on all 3. Yeah, I'll have all 3 of those. I think they're just going to score so many goals. And I said kind of ahead of game week 2 that Wilson could be a better captaincy option than Mitrovic. I sort of stand by that still, because obviously the red card was a bit of a freak occurrence, although Mitrovic has, I don't know, for some reason, until the last kind of week before the season, I wasn't that sold on Mitrovic. I think Mitrovic, it basically depends. We've got quite a low sample size with only 3 games for Wilson, but I think it really depends on if Harry Wilson starts showing that he is involved in a large percentage of Fulham's goals. If not, then Mitrovic will probably be the better captaincy option. But if Wilson is, involved in half of Fulham's goals or whatever, if he's, matching Mitrovic for goal involvement, then I think he could definitely, because of his bonus and the extra assist point and things like that and the clean sheet point, I think he could still at least be as good as Mitrovic as a captaincy option still.
Yeah.
Do you guys agree or disagree with that?
No, I think Carvalho and Wilson, I'm not sold on having 2 midfielders as of now, because you can get the likes of Swift, Willock, and now with Jamal Looks going to Bournemouth and Robinson there, you need the money to spend in your midfield, because I can't. If I have, for example, let's say I have Robinson at now, and Wilson is 9.6. So if I need to sell, if I need to have both of them in my team, then you need to go for cheap options for the 3 other spots. So that one gets filled with Willock, right? The other 2, you have to be very picky about the midfielders. Yeah, you can take Carvalho there, but then you can't go the route that I have gone in my defense, because I can't have 6 million defenders there. So that's why instead of I agree with all you make, but about and Carvalho, I will have to look at the balance of your team. If your balance of your team suits that, which certainly does, then go for 2 midfielders and the attacking option. If your balance needs some defenders and midfield, if you need to balance it out with having defenders, then sure, you can go for a defender, because Robinson is good and they will keep clean sheets. Yeah, they will have especially in these 4 games that are coming, they will keep clean sheets. I
Yeah.
can't see them conceding one goal at all. Maybe Birmingham, you can say, or Bristol, you can say, to keep Spence happy, but I don't think uh, Fulham will concede anything. So, move. Staying with that segment, my 3 players will be Wilson, Mitrovic goes for, and I think instead of going for Robinson, he's quite in high price because 6.6. Although he started at 6.5, right?
Yeah.
Started 6.5. Yeah, he had an 1.1 increase. I might go with Adarabio center back because I get lot of. I will cover the attacking returns, and he will go for the corners and set pieces, which ultimately Wilson will take. So the double bluff, I can play with him because I don't see Robinson will be in that melee in the D box. Adebayo or you may say Tete can be nice options. So that's be my pick. Adebayo in defense, Wilson from midfield. If Wilson is to get, because he has an habit of getting rash, he had rash decisions against him, or because against in the Euros, if we can remember, he got the red card in the last game match day. He did receive a red card, so he has a red card written all over him if he's not mentioned so if he doesn't fire that many, then I can go Carvalho because he seems like a good enabler
Yeah.
to kick off your team into spending more. Because as of now, uh, only teams that you willing to have more players is West Brom because they are looking very good, very good indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think.
those will be my pick.
Yeah, I think everything you said is valid there. I think a lot of it is team dependent as well. Yeah, I think we've probably covered this. But do you have any thoughts, David? Before we, who would your 3 be before we move on?
Yeah, I agree with lots of what you're saying here. So it's team dependent for sure. I think my 3 would, yeah, obviously be Mitrovic. It's a fun one because I think Mitrovic is like a striker that's not good enough for Premier League, but way too good for Championship. So it's like I was doubting him a bit before the season, but I'm glad I have him. I think my second player would also be Wilson because I have Jed Wallace in my team, and I'm thinking of getting rid of him pretty soon.
Oh,
it's and long
yeah, and it frees up a bit of cash as well. He's doing very well, very well, but not anymore. And yeah, to be a bit different, I'll say the goalkeeper, Gazaniga. I think if they are going to keep clean sheets, which is not a hot commodity in championships till now at least, but if they are going to keep it, he will get some good points, I think. So yeah, I think those are my 3.
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone talk about the keeper. That's I guess if you want to set and forget, that's not a bad shout. Great. Okay, so the second thing we're going to talk about today was just probably one of the most surprising results from Game Week 5, which was Huddersfield 4, Reading 0. I think there are a couple of things we can talk about from a Gaffr standpoint here. I think first of all, maybe we could talk about how many of you guys own Swift. I own John Swift.
I think I do.
Yeah, me too.
No.
So three out of the 4 of us do.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And you know, obviously he's a very popular pick. A lot of people bringing him in Game Week 2, Game Week 3 because he started really well. Is he a hold or a sell? I think it's obviously not a buy at this point. But I don't know. What would you guys say? Because Reading have obviously not looked that great. Their squad is quite threadbare. They've made some interesting signings. Did they sign Andy Carroll?
No.
No.
I missed it.
Who did they sign? Danny Drinkwater.
I would be so much fun.
Oh yeah, Danny Drinkwater.
Danny
Yeah, I saw that. And there was someone else. There's someone else as well that's really mad. And I think it's Baba Rahman, the left back.
Oh yeah.
He used to be at Chelsea.
Yes, that's not a bad signing, is it?
So yeah, I don't know if he's been put into Gaffr yet, but that could be an interesting one.
They have
I don't
also
mind.
signed Scott Dan, so that's the most ridiculous signing I have seen. So why do you sign Scott Dan? Yeah, you have a settled back partnership. Why do you sign Scott Dan? I don't get,
Well,
because he hasn't been
backup.
performing well for the Crystal Palace for the past few seasons. So why do you just for Scott depth? Yeah, okay,
Yeah, I
let's
don't
move
know.
on then.
Probably just for the memes, I guess.
Yeah, go on.
So
Spencer.
yeah, I was going to say about Swift. The next 5, obviously QPR at home, Peterborough at home, Fulham away, Middlesbrough, then Derby. I think he's a hold. I mean, he's on set pieces. He is talisman. Obviously, if you weigh him up compared to like someone like a Nick Powell, while Nick Powell's fit, he's like that sort of level of player where you can kind of rely on him to get at least one return a game, or he'll be involved somehow. Because Reading this season, they're just so reliant on Swift. I've got him. I'm going to hold him. The next 2 fixtures are, although it's QPR, they're at home. I think they'll need to bounce back after the result against Huddersfield. And obviously they've had the international break as well to kind of recoup and go again. I could easily see them beating QPR, or at least pulling off a shock result, and kind of coming back to sort of Reading from last year. But like we said, the squad is so thin, it's a matter of time before it kind of crumbles again. So they could easily win a couple of games, and then Fulham in the 3rd game crumble, and then just like downward spiral again. But it's a tough one. I like you said, I wouldn't be buying any Reading players, but if you've got Swift, you can hold him, or maybe move him, take him out, get Harry Wilson in, something like that. I don't know.
That's really interesting because, I mean, when you look at his fixtures, I think they are a real mix. I think there's some good defensive teams, QPR, Fulham, Middlesbrough, but then there's Derby and Peterborough in there as well. Although those 2 sides haven't been terrible. I was actually thinking the opposite. I was thinking he's a real problem in my team now, and I want to get rid. Especially with Lucas Xiao injured, and Aziz is injured as well. I believe that their options up front are very limited. He hasn't really got many players to be supplying, and I think I did actually, I was thinking this maybe a couple of weeks ago. I was thinking, he's been good so far, but I don't think he's going to keep this up, and he might become, I wouldn't buy him. And yeah, I'm looking at him and I'm thinking I want him out of my team. Just because of how poor Reading have been, because of, like I said, the lack of striker options up front. So I really do want to sell. He's actually making me. He's partly a reason why I'm tempted to overhaul. I'll come on to that later. There's a few other reasons why. It's not just him. That wouldn't be a good enough reason to overhaul. Of course, I'm not that knee jerk. But yeah. Go on, Abhishek.
Valid points, because basically it depends on your balance. After all, that if you want to have a certain, because Swift takes all the things for reading, as Sven said, that like a Nick Powell does in Stoke. All those, I don't know, Nick Powell takes penalties, but Swift takes penalties also, because now with Michael Ollie's gone, he is their main penalty taker. He's their main free kick taker. If Reading to score a goal, then Swift basically is the guy to score a goal, because they are not scoring with Puskas in front. He is horrible. I don't know how he starts. I feel sorry for Reading fans, because they have good players, Aziz and Lucas Jau, who can score goals, but Puskas is not that really good. They have signed a couple of good. I quite like their signing of Baba Rahman, because he has been doing well in the Bundesliga so far, for I think Schalke and Augsburg last I checked. So he will be a good signing. The interesting thing will be how the Gaffr guys priced him, because if he priced at upwards of 5.56 million, I am not going for him. If he's below that, then yeah, sure, we can take a look at it. He can be your Yardum replacement, if I may say. Then you could feel free to hold Swift for a week or 2 weeks before the Fulham game. And you can be on the rotating block because you can take him out against Fulham, West Brom, of good teams that you think Reading will be catastrophic. The result, there will be no chance in have taking out a point even. So you can take him out, and but interesting thing will be how he because Danny Drinkwater I think will play in there. Because the reason why I don't think they have uh, too many the likes of Holliet they have already Renamon, so I think Danny Drinkwater serves as a backup but will play if Reading Go Boss tries to play a different formation, because with 4-5-1 they played against Huddersfield. They gave them too much respect. Also, they
Yeah.
can't do anything because they don't have any players there. So for me, it will be a hold depending on what price Baba Rahman is as of now. Strategy will be to see what Baba Rahman is priced, because from the left he will just behind Swift. So nice little combination they could form. So I am looking at that. If did the Gaffer guys mention him? The price has come out, or we don't
I was
know?
just going to have a look, but I don't know if anyone else has got there first. Has his price been released? Let's have a look.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Yeah, he has. He's 5 million.
Okay,
Oh,
I think that's
a
about
nice
right.
price.
Mm.
That's a nice price, and he could be a nice replacement for Yadom, because Yadom is 4.9 and he's 5 million. So yeah, he can be dependent on Baba Rahman's price. So Baba Rahman has been priced at a reasonable good price. So with and also I don't want to take a penalty taker out of my team. That's one of the lessons I've learned from FPL. Even if you can get any way in the 90 minutes, you look horrible, but you can get a penalty in last minute of the game, and who steps up? Swift steps up. If
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
still on the pitch, so
yeah.
that's one of the another reason I am not taking him out. So he's a hold for me, at least for the next 2 games. After that, who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. That sounds quite sensible, I reckon. Next 2 games
Yeah.
and see where you are then.
Yeah, no, I think I agree actually. Well, at least you're making me think again, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. David, you
Yeah.
don't have him, so you don't have any sort of dilemma. But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not getting him.
Yeah, basically.
No way. No. In like fantasy games, I'm kind of. It's like not a good thing, but I'm quite biased against players that do well, but I don't have them in my team. So Swift is that kind of player, and he was last season too, because I don't think I ever had Swift in my team first season of Gaffr either. So it takes something special to get him to my team, I think.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he seems like a
You
good
say
player,
that,
penalty taker, so I'll ask him.
so you say that something special will happen. So let's give you a special condition. If Jao gets fit and Baba Rahman is tearing up places there, will that change your mind?
It depends on who other mids I have at the moment, and if they are like equally good or better. If not, then it will be hard to stay away. But I have Willock now, and he's doing well. So for now, at least, I don't think it's a rush. But it's a good thing to not be too stubborn, I guess.
Yeah.
I think I need to change that sometimes. But at the moment, I'm happy with my midfield.
Let's move on to talk about Huddersfield very briefly, and one player in particular. Sorba Thomas, I think I said his first name right. He's 5.1 million, and I don't know about if you're the same as me, but I look at him and I think, why would we want he's 5.1 million, sure, but he plays for Huddersfield, he's not even playing up front. Why would I want to use one of my 3 precious striker spots on him? But he's got a 16-point haul here. His total points, I am just trying to get up, but he's one of the highest scoring players in the game at the moment. He is performing.
He's the fourth best
Yeah, he scored 40
striker.
points up.
Fourth best performing striker, up to 5.2 now.
Who are the other top two? The top three, sorry.
Actually, it's tied for second with Solanke, Baiman, and Thomas on 40
Yeah,
points,
yeah.
and just Mitrovic 2 points ahead, and he's like double his price. It's crazy.
Andreas Feynman doing bits.
Yes.
Yeah.
So none of you
Yeah.
have him, right?
He's certainly
No.
doing bits.
No, no.
Do we continue
No.
to ignore him, or do we look at his numbers, look at how well he's playing, and actually start considering him? Because I still don't want
Probably
to
should.
consider him, but it's like maybe we should. I don't know. What do you
He
think?
would be the perfect Clark Harris replacement.
Yeah.
I think Thomas. We all thought Clark Harris would have been done good, but instead Siriki Dembele was doing good. So Siriki Dembele is going good. So yeah, Thomas can be a nice option. It really depends on how their coach plays them. If they place them like it is shown in the Gaffr website, the 4-3-3 formation. I checked last time they were playing 3-5-2 formation. So I thought that he's playing in wing back position. I mean, my God, he's a forward listed here. He's playing in the wing back position, so he can get midfield points also. Then I thought, no, he's registered forward, so he can't get midfield for.
Imagine if he was listed
But
as a
he can
defender.
certainly-
It'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It'd be essential.
That is the one thing. The one thing that does put me off about Thomas is that he is obviously he's a forward. So if we've only got 3 spots for forwards, got to think.
Yeah.
If you have Mitrovic, Solanke, and then just another one, whoever's in form, you can't really go differential. I don't think with the other with that third forward. You could maybe take a risk, but you've got like people like Kiefer Moore, Chris Martin, and then a few others as well that are doing well this season. But that's the thing. Like, you could probably take that risk with Sorba Thomas, but again, it's taking a risk on a Huddersfield player. I'm still not convinced by Huddersfield. So
Even
I
if
probably
they won like 4-0 last game.
well, they were playing against Reading, so
They beat
Yeah,
Sheffield
okay.
United the week before. We know that Sheffield United
but
are
Sheffield
anything
United are rubbish
special,
as well.
but they've actually got 3 wins on the spin. Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
how long do we
Nice.
keep ignoring him? Like, what does it take for us to get him in? Because I was thinking, I think it was, after game week 4, I thought, okay, he's done well again, but he's a striker, so I'm not going to get him. And then he gets
Yeah.
his 16-foot haul again, and I'm like, seriously? Like, is he going to just keep doing this?
yeah.
It's,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Huddersfield has a nice fixture run from 6 to 13, I guess.
oh, do they?
They have nice fixture runs.
They've got
where
they've got
they
Stoke this
play
weekend,
Hull.
haven't they?
Yeah, Stoke away. That would be the key to getting him, because if he performs well against Stoke away, then they have Blackpool, then they have Nottingham Forest and Swansea. With the way Swansea are playing, that's a win for sure. So those 3 cluster of fixtures can be important. Have a team with Robinson and Wilson if we want, because none of the forwards of last season, apart from Solanke, is not performing very well, because the likes of Wyman is performing, who is much less. Thomas is performing. Then the Coventry lad Victor, who is priced at 5.7, he's also performing very well. So yeah, maybe you can say Dykes has started to perform, but yeah, we could go certain differential if we load heavy on our midfield spots.
Oh, I have to get Dykes sometime.
I can certainly see him in my teams for sure if I go a midfield heavy. But against Stoke, that's a different ball game, and that too at away in their home ground. So let's wait one more week, in my opinion, and next week let's come to a conclusion what with him. Because if Wyman also scores, then also Spencer will be all over him. So he will try to make us take him also. So we need to take one more week. We need to take a look at how he performs against Stoke. Then we could certainly look to bringing him in.
I might actually bring him in pretty soon, actually, because I have Clark Harris and he's just on my bench anyway. So, and I just looked because some weeks ago I was talking to some guys in the community, among others FPL Irons, and he was shouting out game week 9 as a good away days game week
Uh-huh.
because Fulham play away to Bristol, and also Huddersfield away to Swansea.
Fulham is not getting a win there.
Nah, Bristol City are better away than they are at home. It's kind of been like that for a while now. We're not very good either way, but yeah.
When
At
you
home,
have Wyman wide afraid, you could score even if you in a losing cause, you could score a couple of goals there, wipe out those Fulham boys clean sheet.
I can't see it. I can't see it. We just don't look like winning at home. Away is fine. We have quite a good away following, so we seem to always play a bit better, especially on like Tuesday night as well. Seem to always do all right, but Saturdays at home, got no chance. Just never seem to pull a result out or anything.
Even with the crowd back as well.
Yeah, well, that probably makes it even worse when we go 1-0 down.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Yeah, I think Sorbert Thomas is one of those players that I really want to stop doing well, because I can see him being the type of player that everyone starts bringing in, and if he keeps performing, this is, and I am so stubborn and I just say no, I don't want him, and then he ruins me every week, sort of thing. So I'm hoping he stops performing in that sense.
You could look at it then in another way, that he's so cheap that it's like a gift to the game that you just have to get, because if you
bring back.
but if you stop thinking about it as a 5.1 player, and if you think about what he would be priced like if we knew that he was going to be playing so well, he will be like 8 million at least. So it's consideration for sure.
Are there any other assets then for Huddersfield that we could consider? They are in good form. Which side is he playing in terms of wing back? Is he playing right wing back? Is that right? Yeah, Toffolo played the last game.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, Toffolo in the left wing back position, and Thomas is in the right wing back. This throws me off because in the Gaffr website they are saying Thomas as a centre forward, but in Championship website, when you see he is playing in the right wing back, this has thrown me off.
Yeah, so it's not a 4-3-3; it is a 3-5-2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he playing instead of Koroma?
Yeah, in terms of other.
As well as Koroma.
Koroma was playing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Ward and Koroma up top, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of, as I was saying, in terms of other options, Toffolo can be an option.
Yeah.
Until Pipa gets fit, because Pipa is injured, I think. So Toffolo can be an option. And last against Reading, they have scored a bunch of points, but I don't know how they will be able to replicate that, because Koroma he was a contracted coach. He missed the first game, so I don't think Koroma and Ward is a good enough partnership to target as our third forward, because with so many guys scoring as well. So yeah, if you can go defensive again, I guess with Pearson and Toffolo can be your option until Pipa gets fit. Pipa is a midfielder, right?
Yeah, Toffolo is 5.5, which puts me off slightly, but I think he was 5. It'd be quite a good option. Just on their keepers as well, they have looked alright defensively, I think. Clean sheet against Preston, conceded only 1 against Sheffield United, so that's a half clean sheet. Both their keepers are 4.5, but they've both played this season. I don't think either of them are nailed, so I think it's probably a no-go. But anyway, why would we go to Huddersfield's keeper when we've got Lumley?
Lumley is ridiculous.
Might not be bad on GP's keepers, they might get saves.
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on the week which we play them. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Any final thoughts then on Huddersfield before we talk about our plans moving forward?
No.
We covered that all, right?
So.
Apart from that,
Cool. Right, I'm going to bring up our teams again. So if we go back to Spencer, who was first before. So obviously it's been a long international break. There's still a few days till the deadline, so any plans you have, may change, of course. But what are your current thoughts ahead of Game Week 6? Have you made any transfers? Yeah, what's your plans?
So currently, I haven't made any transfers, no, but I am debating a possible -4, maybe, depending on team news. I'm not, I'm not too confident in having a triple Bournemouth. I've got Brooks, Anthony, and Solanke. I feel like I've got Mitrovic, but I feel like I need an extra Fulham in there. I've got 1 million in the bank, so I could go O'Dowda to Carvalho. And I've still got a couple of. I've got double West Brom in defence, Townsend and Furlong. So it would be something like O'Dowda out for Carvalho, and then maybe Anthony out for maybe a sort of another sort of similar range striker.
Yeah.
Zinchenko as well. He could be gone as well because he's quite expensive, and at that price, there's quite a few
Sorry,
decent
David.
midfielders. So yeah, he's getting gone. He's getting rid.
I thought you were going to say something positive and got very disappointed. No?
He gave me quite a few points. He done the job. Done the job for a few weeks, but after that,
I'll keep him for the four of us, just in case he doesn't.
yeah.
Great, fantastic. So the next was Abhishek, wasn't it? Yes. What are your plans for Game Week 6?
Yeah, we will be talking about Sheffield United, right? In some late after we do this, because I have. Speaking of Sheffield United, they have made quite a few signings. The signings of Horahan and Morgan Gibbs-White have thrown me off from my original plan that I was going to do. So I am thinking. I have 3 players in mind because if I need a replacement for Marcondes, and if I could go low, that they signed, or Horahan, those 2, and another one who is Chong of Birmingham City. He has started well, so I am looking at him also. So I have 1 free transfer. I am not interested in taking a hit, especially if Robinson is fit. I think Robinson is fit, so
I think he is.
I don't need to take a hit. So yeah, in place of Marcondes, those 3 are my players that I am at the moment on my watch list or on my transfer short list, and I am also looking at a change.
We have just lost Abhishek. At least I have.
Yeah, I think he's gone for me as well.
Well, hopefully he'll be back in a second. In that case, we'll go on to my team then. What I'm looking to do with my team, well, I was initially planning on just doing -4. Grant, he's back. Sorry, we lost you for a second, Abhishek. Did you finish? Was there anything else you wanted to finish off with to say?
Yeah, I was saying that I'm playing Jeepers Keepers in game week 9, so I need a second goalkeeper there, and I'm not too confident in going with my original combination of Dieng and Ingram. So I might look at Olsen and Sluga, the Luton keeper, because they have a nice fixture for game week 9. Luton would give me some safe points. They face whom? Think about they face Bournemouth, right? Yeah, they face on game week 9. Luton face Bournemouth away. Yeah, so he could give me a nice chunk of safe points because, and I am looking at Sheffield United keeper Olsen. They face Derby, although
decent shout,
Derby in game week 9. Yeah, Derby in game week 9. I don't think they will trouble them, but at least let's see. I am a bit of a doubtful on the Olsen shout because I need to see him first. But
he's 6 million as well. It's quite expensive.
Yeah, he will be my set keeper if he performs well in the 3 games prior to game week 9. So let's hope he does well, or else I think I will be going Sam Johnson, because it looks like Sam Johnson is not going anywhere soon. So him and Olsen are my options for the Jeeper keepers, which I intend to do in game week 9. So let's see. There's a little tidbit.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan to me. So, right, my team then. Yeah, like I was just about to say, I was originally thinking, this was kind of my plan all along, take a hit, Grant and Brooks to Harry Wilson and Mitrovic, getting Mitrovic straight back in. Obviously, it hasn't paid off getting rid of Mitrovic and doing the kind of hokey cokey there. But that was what I was thinking. But obviously, Billing didn't play. I need to check on his fitness. And I'm just a bit concerned about other aspects of my team. What my plan was originally was I would then take a further hit to park the bus in game week 5, removing Yeardom and Bree. But I'm just short of the money that I need to get the players I want. I want to get in, I think, Smith from Stoke, who has a decent fixture, although I can't quite remember who. He has got... I know it was good enough. It was Barnsley, who aren't looking brilliant going forward. And I also wanted to get, I think, Flint, but someone who was around the 5 million mark. I didn't quite have the funds to do all those transfers. Yeah, it's making me reconsider, and it's making me think. I haven't done it yet, but I'm wondering about overhauling. Like I said earlier, I really don't like Swift in my team at the moment. And I'm wondering if, I'd probably be taking maybe 12 points in hits over the next 2 game weeks if I was to decide to get rid of Swift, if I don't overhaul. And then, I could do that and then still have Jeepers Keepers for later. Or I could take no hits and then I'd lose the option to have Jeepers Keepers, but I would have overhauled into a nice team. And, Jeepers Keepers would probably... could only get me 16 to 20 points anyway. I could probably make up the rest through having a better side. I've always said that overhaul, try not to overhaul if at all possible, because so then you can use the point scoring boosts. But I am considering it, so I don't know, we'll see. The other thing I need to look at in a bit more detail, which I haven't done yet, is whether I can park the bus at a later date and give myself a bit more time to build that defense that I want without hits. I'm not sure there are any brilliant weeks for it, but I will have a more detailed look. So that's my thinking. That's the option. One of the options I could do if I decide I really, really don't want to overhaul and I want to use the Jeepers Keepers instead. So that's me. And then finally, David.
Yeah. I was going to say that if you overhaul, you lose out on chip, but it depends on how bad you think your team is, I guess. My team, I talked about it a bit back then. I think I'll do the Wallace to Wilson transfer. I only have 1 transfer this week, so I think that's going to be it. And then I think I'm going to just after this week, I'm going to look at fixtures and see if it's a good day to play away days coming up, because I think that's going to be my last boost. And yeah, other than that, I think I like my team going forward. But obviously those new signings and stuff kind of throws in something in the mix, so I'm going to have to look at that after a while. I don't think we talked lots about captains, but I think mine will be Mitrovic captain, Solanke vice captain, or if I'm feeling brave, I might even vice captain Flint or something. But I'm not sure yet. So I think that's it for me at least.
Yeah, that's a good point. We haven't talked about captains, but Fulham away to Blackpool, that's probably going to be a lot of people's captains, isn't it? Yeah. Probably the standout options. I think I'll be on. I might go Wilson. I might go Mitrovic. I'm not sure yet. Yeah.
Did he go Wilson vice captain actually? If I bring him in, so
yeah.
Nice.
Great. Well, I think that concludes our first episode. And yeah, thank you for listening or watching if you're on YouTube. Yeah, do get in touch and let us know what you'd like us to cover in future episodes. I'm sure we'll put out a tweet asking for ideas and stuff for our kind of topics each week. And yeah, so we will be off to record our first Super League pod now. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.